The 90s were joy, like a childhood toy. Some call me a sail, but I feel like they know it. An emo in the void, living life avoid. It's time to love, it's time to unwin. Cringe and pure, sex girls in my mind. Enter the stargate, see the lights twirl. The universe and tide is Mikey world. Start the podcast, hear the love twirl. The universe is now Mikey's world. The Avail has begun, it's time for retro fun. Cheese bars in a bun, I salute my shorts and run. I always wear jorts, I have a list that snorts. A weak heart, but it supports a love that never bores. It's time to love, it's time to unwin. Cringe and pure, sad girls in my mind. Enter the stargate, see the lights twirl. The universe and tide is Mikey world. Start the podcast, hear the love swirl. The universe is now Mikey world. Mikey's world. Mikey world. Let's go on a ride to the unknown side, a magical place where nostalgia hides. We love the 80s toys, the movies, kick-ass boys. The 90s were joy, like a childhood toy. Some call me a sail, but I feel like the Lord. An emo in the void, living life avoid. It's time to love, it's time to unwin. Cringe and pure, sex white girls in my mind. Enter the stargate, see the lights twirl. The universe and tide is Mike's world. Start the podcast, hear lights swirl. The universe is now Mikey's world. The evening has begun, it's time for retro fun. Cheese Rogers in a bun, I salute my shirts and run. I always wear jorts, I have a list that snorts. A weak heart, but it supports a love that never aborts. It's time to love, it's time to unwin. Cringe and pure, sex white girls in my mind. Enter the stargate, see the lights twirl. The universe and tide is Mike's world. Start the podcast, hear me like swirl. The universe is now Mikey's world. Mikey's world. Mikey's world.
Oh, yeah. What's up, my beautiful peoples? Welcome to Mikey's World. I'm finally figuring this thing out little by little. And hopefully every Friday there will be a new Mikey's World. And then every Saturday, as time permits, there will be a Acting Crazy and Confident podcast. And then hopefully every Wednesday or Tuesday, there will be a Happy Alien podcast. I'm trying to find the medium to go live 2 or 3 times a week and actually produce somewhat of a show per my time constraints, my health issues, and my bullshit. But welcome to Mikey's World, the Friday night edition. You're getting the semi-happy Mikey. But I felt like I needed to do a Mikey's World tonight because I've been dealing with the Dabbleverse stuff and trying to get confidence and acting crazy and confident for the past week or two. And I'm at a bad place. My emotions are always up and down. And I'm at one of those places where, like, let's be honest, I'm a little bit emotional. Getting a little bit of depression again. The holidays are here. Still struggling financially. Still trying to be productive and consistent. But it's okay. Hopefully this will be an outlet for the people that feel exactly like I do every Friday to hang out on Mikey's World. And this is the show where I talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. It might be about Hollywood. It might be about Spiracy'S. It might be about anything. But it's what I'm excited to talk about, or that's in my world at any specific moment. Now, the Happy Alien podcast will be more conspiracy-oriented in the days to come. Let me see if I can get this thing off screen. I took me off screen. That was the wrong thing you want to take off screen, Mikey. You want to take off the video. And to answer the question, somebody just asked, if I send you a photograph, will you put it in the intro of an autographed picture or with me? Yes. Send it to me on social medias or DMs or emails or whatever down below. And hopefully I can have a little folder and I can update the video monthly with new photographs or pictures of you guys supporting me and stuff like that. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. But that being said, we got a long show today. We got an interesting show today. We're going to talk about comedy movies. Are they dead? We had a Dude, Where's My Car update. That's right. 25 years later, we had a Dude, Where's My Car update. And I'm going to get you guys to that. Also, big story coming out of Hollywood, which is the industry I still want to be in. And I'm actually doing some things to try to continue to be in this industry, but maybe from afar, but with better health. And who the fuck knows what will happen in the future. But I will never leave this industry, no matter how demonic I see everything now and how evil I see it. I'm an entertainer. And I want to be a comedian in the future. I need to explore that realm. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But Netflix, they're owning Hollywood. They're starting to own Hollywood, kind of like Disney. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Plus, is Ozempic killing actors? Should I be on Ozempic? Let's talk about it. Plus, I'm going to ask you guys to vote on some Spiracy'S. Maybe we'll watch a clip of one Spiracy if we have the time. But I'm going to ask you guys to vote on some Spiracy'S that you guys want to talk about on the next Happy Alien podcast. That I need to do that hopefully this coming week. But we got an interesting show. And as you guys can see down below, if you guys feel like supporting, please hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button. Consider becoming a member of the channel for exclusive content and stuff behind the paywall. And if you guys feel like supporting me during the holidays and helping me out with a little bit of cash, pick yourself up some merchandise. I have to do a big overhaul for Christmas on my merchandise store. I have to do an overhaul. Hopefully in the next week. I got to do it ASAP. But I got to make it look a little bit different and better, and you guys can find things easier. But there's T-shirts, there's hats, And I have PayPal, Venmo, Cash App during the show if you guys want to support. Maybe hit today's goal. I think it's $60. Maybe I'll do more show or talk about something if you want. If you guys could help me hit a goal, I'd like to try to make a few bucks off of YouTube. I appreciate it. You guys I owe you the world. So don't ever feel that you have to support me constantly. But we got a lot of good stuff for Christmas, everybody, on the website. If people are like Salute Your Shorts fans, sorry, I'm putting emergency for vitamin C in the water because I need some. I've been struggling recently with health. But we got a lot of good stuff for Christmas. And I still have the code. I haven't put a code for Christmas. But if you want 20% off, the code is Black Friday 25, capital B, capital F, Black Friday 25. And pick you guys some stuff for Christmas for your family. Cameos are available. I think they're like $20 starting December 8th. I think the Cameo program, a video shout out from me, is $20 starting December 8th. So look into that. But also a reminder, every merchandise comes with a private video from me, like a video certificate of authentication. And that's almost as good as a Cameo sometimes. So that being said, there's many ways to support me. I love you all. And yeah, let's move that off of the screen. Thank you all for putting up with me. We have to try to make some money to continue doing shows, paying our bills. And it is what it is. Thank you all for putting up with me. I appreciate you. Just got a message from a beautiful friend that tried to call during the setting up of today's podcast. I wasn't able to pick up the phone and be there for somebody, so I apologize. But Carly, mwah, I hope you tune in. Maybe you're tuning in now, but I just got a message saying you'll tune in to the podcast. I appreciate that. All right, let's quickly say hello to some amazing members. And if you feel like super chatting during the show and you guys want to ask ridiculous questions or whatever, I will respect it and answer it through super chats. But this is not really a Dabbleverse show, and I know there's going to be a few people from the Dabbleverse trying to gaslight me. So do so in super chat. But tomorrow night will be a much different show, the Acting Crazy and Confident. If you guys want to get on that show, that would be cool too. So let me say hello to the people that got online early. The first commenter was Tactical Soap Feren with the meme of the toad guy. We got Delzar Lockjar. We got my moderator, Brent Mania, always in the chat room. Alfred Thunderstruck. Shane, what's up? I appreciate you. Oh, and that was the person I answered the question for, White Sammy Shosha. Can I make that's a funny name? Can I make a sign that says I love me? I made love. What? I didn't read the whole thing earlier. Can I make a sign that says I made love to MichaelRayBower and put it in the montage? No. Sorry. And we got an amazing $20 super sticker. We're 1/3 to the goal for more show. Maybe I'll do Dabbleverse content if you guys hit the goal at the end of the show. Thank you for the $20. My J is on fire. Appreciate you, brother. I truly do. Where's the sticker? I think it's up to me to create these fucking stickers. If anybody has any knowledge about how to create these stickers, let me know. Now, Brent, I saw it, brother. Thank you so much for the support. Send me a bunch. We're close to half of the goal now. All right. This is turning out to be a beautiful Friday night. And I hope you guys appreciate the content that I give you today with your opinions brushed in there. Not really about the Dabbleverse, about the topics for today's Mikey's World. I appreciate that. Real Squares is online. Jay Fire said, do your alien podcast on Rumble, much safer. I do have a Rumble account. Don't know how to use it. but you might be exactly right. For the more like the video footage that I have that is really interesting and scary, I'm probably going to have to do it on Rumble. I'm trying to figure out Patreon because I think you make a little bit of money through Patreon. I don't know how to make money through Rumble, but I got to look into that. But I appreciate the honesty, dude. Brett Mania gifted a membership. Maybe it went to J-Fire. I do not know, but I appreciate you. We got the Doomspaya online. Busy 24/7 making clips for the Dabbleverse. But he took the time to come in here and say hello. Appreciate that. But no more gaslighting from you onion people about the crapomania. I'm not interested. I will not be going. There's your answer. We'll talk about that more maybe tomorrow, where I'll give my honest feedback on some shit that's happening behind the scenes that I don't agree with. But I appreciate that. Maximum Jesus, what's up, my good sir? And let me make sure I responded to every. Real Squares. I promise I will talk about the Mandela effect a little bit in the conspiracy segment toward the end of the show, but I hope you stay in tune for that. Dennis Michaels. Again, I love your avatar. I know you're a Dabbleverse person. I ain't going to hold it against you just yet. But I love your avatar, man. It's so 70s and cool. We got to get you healthy, some vitamins or something. You're worth a comeback story, buddy. Stop pulling an inside job on yourself. Harsh critique, but at many times you're right. At many times you're right. But I am what I am. My health is what it is. And there is no quick and or easy fix or cures for many of the things that I have to deal with. But you can keep it at a plateau, and you can be better mentally to overcome the physical barriers. And that's what I believe you're trying to tell me, dude. I appreciate that, Dennis Michaels. All right, let's get it started, or officially kind of, I don't know. Let me show a couple of pictures that I thought were interesting. Oh, real quickly. There's the code Black Friday 25. And there's like the DVD of Salute Your Shorts that I got through, what was it, Amazon a while back, that I'm reselling through Amazon. No, I'm sorry, that I got on Amazon through these other people and putting it through my store. Because you can't find it anywhere. And it's on Amazon, though, guys. You should go pick it up there. But these are some of the stuff that I got available in my store. And if you guys want to pick it up for Christmas, use the code Black Friday 25 for 20% off. I think that's a good deal. And yeah, you're probably never going to get the DVD officially through any sources. I don't think it's going to happen. So you guys, I recommend you find it online through whoever's selling it on the different platforms, and you pick it up at the best value. Because it'll never be official. And people want me to get into more details and stuff like that about it. Oh my God, it's a bootleg. I don't give a fuck. The world needs Salute Your Shorts. And why does it bother people that it's available for people to pick up? Because it will never be officially available. So if you guys want to complain about it and make fun of it, there will never be an official version. I'm sorry to say. I mean, I can't speak for 100 years from now, but it wasn't that popular of a show. And so you guys go pick it up on Amazon or whatever the websites that might have it. Sorry, my psoriasis is acting up. All right, let me remove this from the stage. Now let me get the pictures on screen to start the show. I had the pineapple guy, Cool Pineapple, on he gave me the honor of coming on my Acting Crazy and Confident show about a week or so ago. Okay, Gregory, it's Friday night. Let's get the party started. Thank you so much, man. We're about $20 from the goal. So maybe that'll be more show Dabbleverse content, whatever we approve on during the show. I appreciate that. Thank you, Gregory. But I had the pineapple on my Acting Crazy and Confident show coming in through the Onion people, and I'm not going to talk about it much more than this. Maybe tomorrow night, but he honored me with his presence, so I'm going to try to figure out a time and a date to maybe go on his show, to repay the favor. But I ain't going to lie, I'm having major fears because I rewatched his appearance on my show, and there was a lot of little digs and stuff that messed with my anxiety, my fears, even though he seemed to try to be a nice fruit. I've gotten a lot of messages and stuff after the fact from the people that he surrounds himself with and the other fruits or whatever. And I'm just not interested right now. Maybe in a couple weeks, man, I'll have the strength and no longer the insecurities to be upon your show. But I'm starting to see a lot of weird things again that I'm not agreeing with. And you made this logo or icon for me, which is cool. It's creative. But I ain't going to lie, man. The Onion people or the people under Melton or whoever you guys call yourself, yeah, I ain't into your type of humor sometimes all the time. So right now I'm having major reservations. Cool Pineapple, I even wrote you about it. And I'll revisit being on your show or anything in the future, but I am going to stay away for a little bit because I'm struggling emotionally and I don't want to be a part of it. But I appreciate getting to know you a little bit. I believe you only presented 80% of who you are, but there was all that little 20% of bullshit and gaslighting. And yeah. So let me revisit being on your show when I'm a little bit more mentally available and stronger. At the moment, I'm struggling. So I gotta disappear. I know who I am. I'm very self-aware of what I need. So I wanted to share that. So thank you again, Cool Pineapple, for trying to help me face fears and get to know some of you all a little bit. But my trust is still 90% saying, fuck everybody in that universe. This was a cool little meme or picture that I saw. Apparently, Detroit unveiled an 11-foot tall RoboCop statue. That's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome. I want to see this, especially in Detroit. Now, if we can get all the Detroit icons there to take a picture with it, like Eminem and maybe a car, a vehicle from the 60s or 50s when it was a car landmark. But that's pretty cool, y'all. Detroit unveiled an 11-foot tall RoboCop statue. Maximum, I believe I saw it. I did. I talked about it in a minute. So there it is. And what do you guys think? Should every town make a a statue based off of a popular movie or something that was located in their town? I mean, I took a picture of me at the Batman statue in front of a theater recently, but that's of Gotham. But this was based in Detroit. He was a Detroit RoboCop. So let me know some of the towns or the movie iconic characters that are from a specific state or town where maybe they should make a statue for that character from that movie. I would really like to see it. I'd really like to know it. Let me get a couple of comments because I try to get a couple of comments on screen when I talk a lot. So I'm doing my best at being a producer and an entertainer, etc., so on and so forth. But let me know if there's any that come off the top of your head of really iconic characters from a town where they can make a statue for. That's awesome. I saw that today. The RoboCop actor that played him should take a picture in front of it. There you go, Brent. There you go. That'd be pretty damn awesome, y'all. Pretty damn awesome. Sleepers, Kevin Bacon. The Conjuring movies are from Connecticut. I don't know if you want to put the Conjuring movie, a horror film, and associate it with your town. Maybe the location, the house, the graveyard, the pet cemetery, whatever the hell it is. But let's think about it in terms of the town. I don't think you want to promote murders for the entire state or town and make a statue toward it. But the location, the house, the this, the that, go ahead. You can make some money off of it. That's what they do nowadays with a lot of movies and TV shows. It's pretty interesting. Real Squares, trying to respect you, brother. Could you have done Ethan Suplee role in American History X? I could have done it, but he was perfect for the role. I mean, he's like 6'3", probably 400 or 500 pounds. I mean, I believe I'm a good enough actor to do any role if given the chance and if I get time to study. But physically, he was perfect. Just like Remember the Titans that I lost the role to him in. The director, Boaz Yakin, he even told me, he's like, Mike, I love you, but you're like 5'5", or I'm actually 5'7", so I was probably 5'6" or 7 at the time. But he's like, Ethan's Hollywood fat, man. He's like 6'3", 400 or 500 pounds. He looks good on screen. He looks really big and good on screen. So, but I could have played any role. But thank you for asking. Variable Volume Music is a new member. Thank you, Variable Volume Music. It's really interesting. Part of Avengers was cleared in Cleveland. There you go. But you get it. One iconic location is throughout the film. Like Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills should put a statue of Axel Foley. But also he's from Detroit. And he was a cop. So you would want the RoboCop from Detroit instead of an Axel Foley statue in Detroit. And you would want an Axel Foley statue in Beverly Hills because he became the Beverly Hills Cop. You understand what I'm saying? I want a Mothman statue in the town where Mothman is from. Have you seen the Superman statue in Metropolis, Illinois? Isn't that a conspiracy type one where it's got like conspiracies and another statue behind it? I got to look into that. All right, you guys can let me know more of your iconic locations and characters that should be enshrined in the chat room after the video. And I was thinking about my apartment, and it looks like this. This is not my apartment, but it's kind of like built like this, like a studio apartment. And I saw somebody talking about, there was a video from Odell Beckham Jr. There was a video from Odell Beckham Jr. talking about how much money he's made in the NFL. According to the NFL records, Odell Beckham Jr., the wide receiver, made $109 million in his entire NFL career. But he got a 5-year, $100 million contract. Then he did a podcast where he was talking about, that it's hard to live off of a 5-year, $100 million contract. Then he tried to break it down for everybody. And I'm going to give you the TLDR, the lowdown rundown, or whatever that stands for. But he said, people think that I got $100 million and I didn't. I get taxed. I have to pay taxes. I have to pay agents, managers, and all that. He goes, so my 5-year, $100 million contract goes to probably $60 million. And then I got to buy houses for my parents, my this and my that. And, if you break it down, that's $12 million a year that I'm making in the NFL for the 5-year, $100 million contract because I'm only getting 5 years, $60 million. And people took it as, oh my God, look at the wide receiver complaining about $100 million contract, how it's so hard to live off of that. And I took it that way as well. There's a good one, Maximum. The Die Hard building should have a statue of John McClane. The Die Hard building is next to Fox Studios in LA, and I've been there, and it's amazing. Nakatomi Plaza. It should have that statue. But a lot of people took it in a woe is me type of thing. Look, I understand what he's saying. But he was living above his lifestyle. Even if he was making $12 million a year for 5 years, how can you not live off of $12 million a year and make it last if you only receive $60 million? How could you not make it last? Plus, he got endorsements and everything, and they said his entire career he probably made around $108 to $112 million with endorsements and everything. Okay, if you only got 60% of that, you're still looking at $65 million. 64 million, whatever. If you cannot make that last the rest of your life, it's a problem with your parents, the way you grew up, and whatever. And I'm just going to reveal this here, y'all. I had a huge problem with that post. I posted it on X or Twitter. I'm living in California. And whenever I make money, when I do get an acting job, of course, it's been a while, but stuff like that, when I would get charged 50%, like 45. Same thing as Odell Beckham. And I currently, my entire life, I've lived off of less than $40,000 a year. Now, currently, the last 5 or 6 years, I've been living for $20,000 or less in California. And I'm proud and humble enough to be happy with everything I have. So don't tell me that it's, oh, I only made $12 million, I only made $60 million, and I don't know how to live. And it's a struggle for me. Because I had to buy 20 cars. I had to buy 10 houses. I had to do all this. It's such a struggle. You are talking to people that live currently off of $30,000. Like I said, $20,000, $50,000. Even people that make $100,000, they work probably 14 hours a day. You are not going to get our sympathy on this motherfucking thing, Odell Beckham Jr. But thank you for explaining the finances. People are stupid. They think you made a total of $110 million or $100 million. You didn't. People think that I've made a ton of money. I've lost 45, 50% from taxes, agents, managers, all that. I still owe agents and or managers if I changed agencies, even when I get residuals that are small or less than. 20 years later. Because if I booked a job with that agent, they get 10%. Then if I get a residual for that job, let's just say the Wonder Years, after 20, 30 years, I've maybe made a couple of $1,000s off of residuals from the Wonder Years or whatever. I still owe that agent 10% from that job. So now I got to get in contact with them, or at any given moment, they could literally sue me and be like, hey, we haven't been paid by you. Even though we're no longer your agent, we haven't been paid by you for 20 years. So find all the receipts for that TV show Wonder Years that you booked through us, or that other TV show and we want all the money now. It wouldn't be a lot, but they are entitled to it. And they probably wouldn't sue because it would cost more money to sue than they would receive. But that is the truth of the industry. Whatever you hear about an actor making in a movie, at least put it to 50%. Or at best, they're making 60% of whatever you witnessed they were hearing. Okay? So try to have a little empathy. But again, when it comes to $100 million, we ain't going to have empathy that you're struggling, Odell Beckham Jr. But they need to teach these fucking athletes and all that a new story. They need to teach these athletes and everybody a new story. And we got an amazing supporter, Jamie Mullins. I hope you're doing blessed and better this weekend. I'm happy to see you tonight. Thank you for the love and the support. I just recently did a cameo for you, and it's all good. It's all good. We're all happy. We're all blessed. We're all here. And it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to admit you're struggling, you're hurting, regardless of what the Dabbleverse people say against you or use any information you give against you or how they try to gaslight you. It's okay. You're a better human being than these evil people. And I'm proud of you. And I hope you're doing blessed. Thank you for the support. So I wanted to share with this apartment because, again, I don't know if I'm going to be living here much longer. I've been struggling paying bills. But my apartment kind of looks like this one in terms of the space. But I love how this looks so clean and nice. But this person posted on that Odell Beckham Jr. post, and he said, I live in a $1,200 studio apartment. And he goes, I have no furniture. I have to sleep on the floor. He goes, but I'm humble and proud to say it. And then he posted that he makes like $45,000 a year or something like that. And when I read this post, I was like, oh my God, this is me. But I'm making half of what you make. And I have furniture. It's not the best. But how lucky and blessed am I? But I love the way his apartment looked, so clean and kind of like just spatial. So I don't know, man. I was thinking about feng shuiing my apartment in the next week or two before the holidays and trying to make it look a little bit, of course, cleaner because it's lived in, and whatever my funk and whatever is everywhere. But I just kind of thought this was really nice looking. Apparently, he even has like a dining room dinner table. Does he have a kitchen? I don't. But still, I just thought this looked really clean and nice. And it is missing a bed or a couch bed or something. You need that to live. I do. But I love the post, and I just wanted to talk about it. And hopefully I can feng shui my apartment and just feel a little bit more confident or better for the next 3 or 4 months when I decide my future, because there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that not a lot of people know about. But yeah, I'm trying to get a brighter future in the days ahead. So yeah, I just needed to share that photo. And yeah, let's officially start the show with the topics. All right, we have a Dude, Where's My Car update, y'all. So the other day, I'll just post the headline of the topic, then maybe I'll get it on screen. But the writer of Dude, Where's My Car did an interview with Hollywood Magazine or a Hollywood Reporter. I thought it was Variety. But his name is Philip Stark. And here's the headline. I wrote Dude, Where's My Car 25 years ago. It would never be made today due to the nature of the comedy world and the way it's all going. Oh, let me take off this PayPal thing that just, I thought it was on a timer. Whoops. And then that was a dabble first. Dude, where's my car thing? And then, oh, that was so funny. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't like Dude, Where's My Car? Like, I was happy to be in the movie to make some money. I had some adventures on that movie, but like, I'm not really into stoner comedies and stuff like that. At that time, I really wasn't into it. But now looking back, I have a different view of it, because we're going to ask the question, what the fuck happened to comedy movies? We're going to ask the question. And is there a comeback ahead? Okay, so I had the pleasure of being in Dude, Where's My Car? Now let's get back to the title. So the writer did an interview where he said, I wrote Dude, Where's My Car 25 years ago. It would never be made today. In 2000, the author was a young screenwriter writing broad, crude humor to sell into a marketplace that valued it. That's right, the early 2000s. Pre-9/11, if you will. But I don't know if that has to do with comedy in movies, but you got to think about it. Then the offers dried up for him as a writer. Today, he's quit Hollywood to become a therapist. All right, let me see if I can get that article on screen, because I want to read it live with you guys. I'm very into this one because I've worked with him and I know him very well. And not a lot of people know this, but there was a sequel. There was a sequel to Dude, Where's My Car written. I got to look at the script. Does it have his name on it, or is it just Danny as well, the director? I got to pull the script out of storage or whatever. But there was one written, and then it eventually became the Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, because they used the same type of chemistry. Let me see if I can get this article on screen. Okay, share the screen. There we go. I don't want no audio. I want to read this, guys, with you all, because I worked with him. But there was a Dude, Where's My Car 2 script floated around where they were asking contract information to some of us. And it was possibly going to be made, but I don't believe Sean and Ashton could ever come up with the correct dollar amount, or they wanted to revisit it. So I think they turned it down. But recently, Sean William Scott said he would do it again. And that might have prompted this article that we're going to read here today. So here we go. In 2000, the author was a young screenwriter writing broad, crude humor to sell into a marketplace that valued it. Then offers dried up today. He's quit Hollywood and become a therapist. In 1998, I was an inspiring screenwriter. This is about Philip Stark, who wrote The Dude, Where's My Car? I think he was involved in the 70s show as well, but there were some writers that worked on Salute Your Shorts that also attributed to Dude, Where's My Car and stuff like that. That's a story for another day. In 1998, I was an inspiring screenwriter living in a small apartment in Hollywood. Hey, sounds like me. The building was across the street from a liquor store with a red neon sign that would blink on and off, reflecting on me what I imagined to be a film noirish way as I sat at the computer channeling my inner Bukowski. Only instead of drinking cheap wine and writing poems about the struggle of the working class, I was smoking weed. Oh, really? The guy that wrote Dude, Where's My Car was smoking weed? Come on, that can't be true. That can't be true. I was smoking weed, shibby, and eating takeout Chinese food while writing a screenplay about two dudes who smoked weed and ate takeout Chinese food. Go figure. Go figure. Write what you know, right, Philip? The idea was to channel the Marx brothers through the filter of Cheech and Chong. And I watched the Cheech and Chong documentary just recently. Absolutely loved it. That's why I have a different view on stoner movies now at my age. The idea was to channel the Marx Brothers through the filter of a Cheech and Chong presented via the one long crazy night movie paradigm. It was full of things that made the 25-year-old me laugh. Fake rap videos, dogs getting stoned, and large-breasted aliens. This goofy premise it would eventually become an actual script, which I passed along to my TV agent after a writing credit on the first season of South Park. All right, I did not know that. Landed me a job. There it is. Landing me a job on the writing staff of that 70s show. Bam. I sent the script over on a Friday, and on a Monday, I got a call from someone at the agency who introduced himself as my new feature film agent. That's fucking wild, y'all. That's how it works in Hollywood sometimes, man. One lucky person, just all of a sudden the next couple days. He said he loved the script and had no doubt it would sell. For some reason, I believed him. We're going to get the stories of it. Back then in a tiny apartment, however, it was just an idea for a silly, funny teenage demographic skewing movie. Lucky for me, the tail end of the 20th century was a good time to be a screenwriter. That's right. It's kind of around the time it all ended, man. Hollywood and comedy. We've talked about this on other shows. Luckily for me, Philip, the writer of Dude, Where's My Car? At the tail end of the 20th century was a good time for me to be a screenwriter. I skipped something. Writing a silly, funny, teenage demographic skewing movie at that time, producers and studios were hungry to produce cheap, broad comedies. That's right. The budget for Dude, Where's My Car, I believe, was $10 million. It might have ballooned to 12 with promotion, but I believe it was $10 million. That would appeal to teenagers with disposable income who were eager to spend it at movie theaters. The late 1990s, early 2000s was a boom time for comedy. It was, especially in the Judd Apatow community and people like that. Sorry, it's like reading a script or doing an audition. I got to find my place. The late 1990s and 2000s was a boom time for comedy at the box office in general. Movies like Meet the Parents, Scary Movie were making bank. And Dabbleverse people, if you're still in tuned, this should interest all of you because you guys call yourself comedians, and I know you love movies. So this is an interesting story about what happened to comedy movies and is there a comeback ahead, which we'll talk about in a minute. The late 90s, early 2000s was a boom for comedy. Movies like Meet the Parents, Scary Movie were making bank. Stars like Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey were in high demand and to headline comedy features. And screenwriters had plenty of opportunities to pitch the next high-concept comedy laden with memorable physical comedy set pieces. Hello, Sperm Hair Gel in There's Something About Mary. And again, I want to read some of these comments. So maybe re-ask them after I read the article, and I'll answer your questions as best as I can, guys, okay? I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to be better. We'll talk about the subject, then I'll read your comments, and then we'll have an answer. And again, Super Chats always get it to me quicker because it lights up in colors or on my phone. Where were we? Jim Carrey were in high demand to headline comedy features, and screenwriters had plenty of opportunities to pitch the next high-concept comedy. And hello, Array Alike. Good to see you. I know you met a lot of these actors back in the days as well. With memorable physically comedy set pieces. Hello, Sperm Gel. From like Something About Mary. Generating profits at the box office and then making another killing in the secondary DVD and video on-demand markets. Well, I can say that there was an article written about Dude, Where's My Car after the fact, and it was called Dude, Where's My Money? Because the movie and everything was made between $10 and $12 million, and it left the box office making around $30 million or $35 million or something around that time. And then it probably came in at 40 to 45 million with DVD sales. So think about it. An entire budgeted film for 10 to 12 did probably quadruple times the amount. I don't know the official numbers. Maybe somebody can look that up for me. But Dude, Where's My Car? Same thing with horror movies that they do nowadays. It seems every time it quadruples or does really, really well. But comedies disappeared, then horror movies took over this mantle. The comedy feature market was so hot that a young screenwriter who had just sold a spec script that got him a meeting with the Farrelly brothers. I've worked with the Farrelly brothers. They're still on my Facebook, and I fucking love them both. Would have been motivated to drive from Studio City to Santa Monica on the shoulder of the 405 during rush hour to get there on time. They were so in demand, comedy scripts at that moment. I still can't believe I didn't get a ticket. Wow. So you were living in Studio City, dude. Dude, Where's My Car was released 25 years ago on December 15th, 2000. Damn, it was a Christmas movie? Oh, I enjoyed every minute of it. I would go to the screenings at City Walk Universal, and I would stand there and hope to get recognized, trying to fill my fucking ego. Man, it was like the number 1 and number 2 movie that weekend. The number 1 comedy for sure. It did better than expected at the box office. There it is. The title became a verbal meme. We still refer to, and a non-zero percentage of people walking around today have matching dude, sweet tattoos as a result. The movie starred 2 young talented actors, Ashton Kutcher and Sean William Scott, launching them further into already successful careers. It made its production cost back the first weekend. There it is. And ended up being sold. Oh, somebody's writing how much money it made. Let me see if I can get that on screen. Oh, wait, who wrote that? Domestic, it made 46 million. International, 26. Worldwide, 73. Wow. And that's before DVDs, right, Super Jimmy Bennett? Wow. Wow. It's almost $100 million movie for 10, 12 million. It made its production cost back the first weekend and ended up being solidly profitable. Not exactly a smash hit, but certainly a success. And like all movies that get produced in this town, it was a long, bumpy path to the box office with many hoops to jump through and pitfalls to avoid. After the script sold, I sat down. How much did it sell for? I have a friend that writes scripts, and he sold a couple of them to studios. They just sit like in the rooms and they don't get made. But he sold them for like $80,000, $100,000. And that seems to be the going rate. It depends on the contract. They probably add stipulations, maybe 0.5% of the gross or this or that. I do not know. But I do have a really good friend of mine that has sold a few scripts. And a couple of them have been made into projects, like lower income projects. But he sold one that I was around when he wrote for like 80,000. Then he sold another one for 109K. And it was a sci-fi movie that I kind of read, and I don't know if I wrote it, but I gave him some ideas and he put them in there. And I would like it to get made. So Ben, yeah, you're Jewish. Love you, brother. It's not Ben Shapiro, but after the script sold, I sat down for my first meeting with the producer who spearheaded the purchase. Where I got a note I could never have anticipated getting. We need a third dude. Ooh, what happened? Sorry. I was trying to make that a little bit bigger. We need a third dude. Really? So I spent 6 months writing drafts of the script as an homage to 80s teen comedies where the two dudes became secondary characters to the main character. An Anthony Michael Hall type whose girlfriend dumped him and who enlists the dudes to help win her back. Eventually, another producer came onto the project and we went back to the original script. And then wonderfully talented and collaborative director, Danny Liner. I love you, Danny. Rest in peace. I love you, dude. You believed in me. You even chased me to my car after you believe I failed the audition and I was acting and you wanted me to be real and better. You chased me to my car, Danny, to come up and do it again, and then you hired me. Fucking love you, brother. It sucks what happened to your career after. I mean, you made Harold and Kumar, but comedy died, and then your production company was not getting any other offers because the political nature and the company shut you all out. Fucking sad as fuck. Danny Liner, rest in peace, came on board. The project gained momentum, and it hurtled towards a start date. The producers reached out to ask me about this Ashton guy I was working with from the 70s show. Was he funny? Was he a good actor? Did I think he was right for the role? Hilarious, totally, absolutely were my replies. Then Sean, who was in the process of experiencing how the role of Stifler from American Pie would completely change his life, came on board, and we had the perfect dudes. Now, I can speak that it sounds like they automatically got the part. I auditioned for some of these roles as well. I auditioned at least altogether probably 5 to 6 times, but not for the main roles. My first audition was like for the main roles of the dudes. And then I did a chemistry read. Then I was hanging out with Seth Green and some other actors. I'm sure Sean and other people were there. I don't know about Ashton. But I didn't do a chemistry read with them. I did a read with Seth Green and a couple of other actors as well for one of these main parts. And that was what I know about that for the main parts. But then I got called for another character to do a third audition. Then I went in for that character audition. Then I think it was 4 auditions total. Then I did the 4th audition with Danny, the writers, and Philip and everybody. And that's when Danny came down and brought me back upstairs, found me all the way in the parking lot in my car. And he's like, Michael, we love you, but you got to come back and they need something else from you. You're being a little bit actory or whatever. And so I went back in. So now this is my 5th audition. And then I got the part as the cult guard a couple of days later. We shot the movie during hiatus between the seasons of that 70s show when Ashton was available, which I meant I was available too. It's not that often that the screenwriter of a movie is welcome on set, much less it's true. It's true. Dude, I do remember you on set a lot. You were awesome, Philip. Much less invited to participate creatively, but Danny and the producers wanted me there, and it was an amazing experience. See, Danny involves everybody, dude. You're the writer of the show. It's your comedy. Fantastic. But Danny and the producers wanted me there. It was an amazing experience getting to contribute to the production process. The availability of Fabio. That's right. That was a big deal. Everybody's like, oh my God, we got Fabio. We got Fabio. I didn't know who the fuck Fabio was. Apparently I'm in 2 movies with Fabio. Dude, Where's My Car? And what was the other movie about the gym? I was in another movie with Fabio where he was in a gym. Forgot the name of that movie. The availability of Fabio for an afternoon led to quick rewrite to create a scene for him and the dudes. The need to raise the stakes in the 3rd act meant writing a role for Andy Dick. That was the motherfucker that propositioned me at the rap party. Andy Dick. Dude, he had a girl with him and he propositioned me. He's like, hey, you want to fuck her? You want to have a threesome with me? He was with a hot blonde girl. But he propositioned me at the fucking the rap party. So Andy Dick, thank you for that, but I'm not interested in Andy or his dick. Just being honest. But I know he struggles with drugs and everything, and I hope he has a comeback in his life. Because he is funny and interesting. and a sequence involving a French guy and aggressive ostriches. It was an intense time, jam-packed with the creative collaboration, problem solving, and lots of laughs. That's what you have to do on movies. You got to collaborate and problem solve daily, hourly, minutely. I was lucky that the producers felt that my voice was important to preserve. That's what they did. Gil Netter was a producer. I worked with Gil a couple of times. I love Gil. Hey, Phil, what do you think the dude / sweet tattoo should look like? Hey, Phil, what kind of car do you think the dude should drive? Hey, Phil, how stoned were you when you wrote the "and then" scene? With the success of the movie came more opportunities for me. I sold several feature... Oh, here we go. We're getting the good stuff. I sold several feature pictures, including Quake-style gaming pitch called Modern Day Warrior with Jack Black. I did not know that, with a Quake-style gaming pitch from the game Quake called Modern Day Warrior. Around that time, I booked a movie, I don't think you were involved in it, called War Boys. And a couple of years later, I got the Revenge of the Nerds movie that they canceled in the middle of filming. But I was doing a movie called War Boys. And it never saw the light of day. But there were some people from Dude, Where's My Car that were involved in that one. I got to look that one up again. Oh, is it even on IMDb? I don't think so. With Jack Black, that had me thrilled to be driving half of Tenacious D around to pitch meetings. You were driving Tenacious D around to pitch meetings? And then I worked with Jack Black's partner in the next movie, Evolution, from Tenacious D. There was a producer-style project with a rap music instead of a musical that I spent a month in a cheap hotel on the beach of Belize writing. There was a project called Ugly as Shit that Jamie Foxx was attached to, where I got to watch in awe as Jamie would walk into pitch meetings. Dude, that'd be so awesome if I was so famous enough to be able to walk into pitch meetings and sell a project on behalf of the writer to a studio. Fuck, that's the life. I got to watch in awe as Jamie would walk into pitch meetings as cool as James Bond, crack everyone up as he transformed into Jerry Lee Lewis, then leave with the confidence of Miles Davis. And during the time, I was still writing and producing on the 70s show. I'm still surprised I never got an audition for the 70s show when there were so many Salute Your Shorts and or Dude, Where's My Car people involved in it. Maybe it's because at the end of it, I had some issues with Ashton. Ashton would pull fucking pranks. That was around the time I think he got his prank show. So he started to pull pranks on people during the filming. And one of the ones he did on me, I just didn't appreciate it. Personal attacks in front of the crew, making fun of my body structure. Same shit with the Dabbleverse fucking people. It's just ridiculous and stupidity. So I'll never change my thought process on that. But me and Ashton, we're cool. I handled it. I got into his face and I said, don't ever do it to me again. I don't appreciate it. And, you know, I need you to respect me a little bit moving forward because we are the same. Then apparently he got involved in possible allegedly murder plots with Danny Masterson. All right, evil people apparently are evil. Go figure. Cracked everyone up, transformed into Jerry and Miles. And during this time, I was still writing and producing on the 70s show, which ran for 8 seasons and continues to air today in syndication. You Gen Zers might have to ask a Gen Zer where reruns are. Good point. Where are the reruns? But comedy, here we go. Now we get into the meat of this concept. But comedy has changed dramatically in the past quarter century. This became apparent to me upon a recent DWMC, Dude, Where's My Car? Rewatch, when I was struck by just how much I cringed at the humor. That's what I did when I watched it. I did not like it and I did not appreciate it at the time. I was a different person even back then. And it wasn't just because I was watching it with my kids, for who I am the ultimate source of cringe. What made me cringe is how 25 years later, some of the comedy feels so outdated, even offensive. Sure, the tone is light and silly, and the humor comes largely from the charming and stony performances of Ashton and Sean, but there's plenty of humor that plays at the expense of transgender people. Oh my God, are you like apologizing for it? Fuck, please no. Please no. Please tell me you're not about to apologize for it. Fuck no, Philip. Whether I agree with it or it makes me cringe, comedy is subjective, but don't ever apologize. Even the Dabbleverse people, I don't like your shit. I do not like it. But you have every right to do it. Some people like it. Don't apologize. Please, please, do not apologize like the motherfucking people on Fringe that I worked with. They apologized for not having black actors on Fringe because of the diversity. No. No. There's no going back to what was. All right, sorry. But there's plenty of humor that plays at the expense of transgender people, ethnic minorities, women, gay men, religious cults, and Fabio. Did it feel this cringy 25 years ago? I don't think so. The humor seemed appropriate at the time, but then again, so did Matchbox 20. That was funny. Box office returns have been disappointing of late for all genres, even the seemingly unstoppable tide of big-budget Marvel movies and Pixar sequels. Comedies used to be the preferred genre of movies that could be made on the cheap without stars, but with profitable results. There it is. Now that role has gone to horror movies. The whole concept of theatrical distribution that makes up so much in the foundation of the business is now in question. As the aftershocks of COVID, in streaming now, that's all we do, and the rise of streamers continue to challenge our assumptions about how audience consume content. And while there have been a big picture industry changes over the last 25 years, there's also the personal changes in our own lives. And I just consider mine. 25 years ago, I was a young screenwriter writing broad, crude humor to sell into a marketplace that valued it. Over time, that changed after Dude, Where's My Car? Nothing I wrote got made. And eventually the pitches stopped selling. And the spec scripts I wrote didn't get any traction. After the 70s show ended its run, I wrote and pitched many TV pilots that either didn't sell or didn't get made. Because you need to attach me. I got good comedy. I got comedy that should last. And we'll talk about that more in a minute. I wrote and pitched many TV pilots that either didn't sell or didn't get made. It got to the point where I wondered if I should continue pursuing a career. These are the doubts I have all the time about acting as well. It's like the industry is just not welcoming, and it's not what I thought it was, and it's just really, really sad. But there is a comeback on the horizon. We'll talk about that in a minute. I wondered if I should continue pursuing a career that had started out so promising. And the bigger question was whether or not I was happy doing it. The answer to that question was a resounding no. Wow, whether or not I was happy doing it. The answer to that question was a resounding no. I'm feeling parallels, y'all, with myself. Not that I'm John Candy, but I'm feeling parallels. I had become bitter and resentful. After so much early success, I was experiencing defeat. And even though I didn't enjoy it and I wanted to make a change, I was frustrated because I didn't know what that change could be. Wow. It's getting good, y'all. See, now we're getting into why I like to learn who people are behind all the bullshit. Eventually, I figured out what I wanted that change to look like. I'm still trying to look for it. I went back to graduate school, got my master's degree in psychology, and became a therapist. Oh, shit. I need to contact you. We could write a movie. We could bring comedy back. I could become a famous star. And we could share our heart and our therapy with the world. That's right. The guy who wrote a movie about two stoners who can't find their car now wants to ask you about your mother. And today I'm still writing, but instead of movies like Dude, Where's My Car? I write self-help books like Dude, Where's My Catharsis? Come on, you still got to use the name, brother. You still got to profit off of the PR and the marketing from Dude, Where's My Car? I got no shame in your game. You got to do that clickbait, baby. You got to do that clickbait. I get it. I get it. Much of my work as a therapist is with clients going through transitions involving their careers and relationships and processing how to deal with these changes. How when we hold on too tightly of how things used to be, we prevent ourselves from being able to accept how things are now and how they could be in the future. I feel this, which I think describes our personal journeys, which I'm going through, and you guys have been a part of it on this channel for years now, as well as the evolution of the entertainment industry. 25 years is a long time, but it feels like it went by in the blink of an eye. It did, motherfucker, it did. It did. But it feels like it went by in the blink of an eye. Who knows what our world will look like in 25 years from now, in the year 2050, in the year 2000, in the year 2000. Will the production of feature films still be profitable? That's a good question. Will movie theaters still exist? They have to, but not as big as they are. They're dwindling. Will South Park still be on the air? Yeah, probably. Will people even know what I mean when I say on the air? Nope, that has already changed. I don't know the answers to these questions, but I'm planning on being around and finding out. And then, so there it is. Philip Stark is a screenwriter and an author and a licensed marriage and family therapist in LA. Dude, I need to hit him up somehow offline and just say thank you. And I ain't gonna lie, let's write a movie together, brother. Let's bring back stoner comedies. Let's bring back stoner comedies. I didn't like them at first, man, because I'm not into weed and drugs, and I hate all that shit. Alcohol, weed, drugs. I sometimes look down upon people that do it. But again, it's not my place to tell you what to do and how to live your life. But I don't like any of that stuff. I don't even like cigarettes because I grew up with smokers. But I have my flaws and my phobias and my bullshit as well. But I didn't like stoner comedies growing up. I mean, when I was really young, I didn't know what Cheech and Chong was. Then when I got older and I started to realize it was based off of marijuana and this and that, and then I learned through the DARE program, the Conspiracy DARE program, I just didn't like them. It wasn't funny to me. So when I booked on Dude, Where's My Car, I didn't really know it was a stoner comedy, even while auditioning. When I got the part, I was just like, you know, you got a part in the movie, man. You're going to pay some bills. I was just happy to be working. Then when the movie came out and I knew what it was, I was still proud of it. But I cringed watching it. I hated 75% of it, the humor. But now I look back at comedy and movies like that because comedy has died. Comedy movies especially have died. And now as an out-of-work actor, wanting to have a comeback, wanting to do comedy, I actually want to try my hand at stand-up comedy. Maybe that'll be the start to a comeback for me. I don't know. But now realizing what comedy means to the world, even though it's subjective and it's not my type of humor, the world needs it. The world needs it. And the world needs stoner comedies again. Because the world cannot be afraid to say whatever the hell's on their mind about transgenders, gay, this or that, whether it makes people cringe. That should not be where our world is going. Hopefully at the end of the day, whether people are making fun of transgender, gay, this, that, whatever, that they actually still have a heart to try to empathize with these people that are struggling mentally. Maybe it's a mental disease. Some people are calling it a disease. Again, I'm not there yet. I don't care. I don't think it's right when they do make fun of it and that's all they do. I don't think it's right. That's not becoming of my character. But they do have the right to do it. And nobody should ever be canceled or whatever, because there is a certain amount of the population, for their whatever reasons, they enjoy that type of humor. That's the same thing as the Dabbleverse people with the insults and everything else that they were doing to other people and to me. I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. I don't want to fuck with those people. That's not my type of comedy. Okay? But they deserve to do it. And you're goddamn right. I'm going to fight for them to be able to do it. So that's what's going on in this world. Comedy, in my opinion, is the last line of defense for freedom of speech. And it's being taken away. It's being taken away. And what happened to comedy movies? Again, the culture has shifted. The culture has changed. And they can't get away with it anymore because Hollywood and the people that run Hollywood are too insecure, just like I am, and they want to be sensitive to every single thing. And they think that the world is not ready to continue with that type of comedy. So these films that, if they are crossing the desk of these producers and people like that, they can't be made, because who's going to sponsor the movie? The studio doesn't want to have controversy online, this and that. But let me be honest with you. There's been a change in the air. And I'm going to get to some of your questions. I see them. I see them right now. There's going to be a change in the air very, very soon. And it starts with people like from the Dabbleverse. Again, whether you agree with their comedy or not, it starts with people like that. They need to write their movies based off of their comedy. They need to put together buddy movies, two people, but an overnight movie, a 24-hour adventure movie, just like it was in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, etc. Like Dude, Where's My Car? But there's a change in the air. And again, I believe all politicians are evil. But Trump and the MAGA movement, it started to help with that type of stuff, where it was more broad stream to do comedy or whatever a little bit moving forward in terms of freedom of speech. Now they're still trying to take it away. I can get into a whole spiel with those conspiracy theories. But for the American people, there's a change in the air where we're starting to fight back against fears. For a long while, people were afraid to speak up or present their comedy. And now, I think we're on the precipice of a reset for comedy movies. Again, we're not there yet, but we have the opportunity, all of us, to write movies based off of comedy, cringeworthy comedy, whatever you consider comedy, and to make those movies. But try to make it up to date with some of the emotional, political feelings. But the crude humor needs to make a comeback. What's crude to you might not be rude to me. What's crude to you might be rude to me. But it doesn't matter. Let's bring comedy back. Let's bring comedy back. Yeah, I don't know, but I want to act. Yeah, we got to make a movie and attack. Yeah, we got to bring comedy back. And again, comedy is subjective. But how do we do that? Well, we got to stop making these fucking horror movies independently. We got to stop doing that. Everybody and their fucking mother is making a horror movie on their channel. They got $30,000, $50,000. They sold their house. They did this. They're making horror movies. They got naked bitches in the horror movie with the blood and the this, because I know it'll get sold to a streaming service. It'll get sold to a streaming service. And maybe I can make like $50,000 to get my money back. And I made an actual film. I want to be a director. I made a film. Well, cut that shit. Dabbleverse people, whoever, people like me and or you. Let's bring comedy back. Let's start making the movies our own of comedy nature for $30,000, $40,000, whatever the money is. Then, if the streaming services or the studios all of a sudden get all these comedy movies sent to them that they can buy for $100,000, and then if it's decent, they can be like, dude, we can make 5 to 10 million off of this fucking movie. They're going to do it, regardless of the bad press or the feedback. Why? Because bad PR is good PR. So if the studios had an influx of comedy movies made by us, that would bring comedy back. And they would make a pretty penny. Then people like Judd Apatow, the Farrelly brothers, they might have a comeback to bring back comedy movies officially. That's what I believe should happen, and I want to be a part of it. I think I'm going to try my hand at doing stand-up comedy very, very soon after my surgery. I don't know where I'm going to be living officially, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But I don't have the health to go on the road like the comedians. They go on the road to all these places to get their name out there. That's the only scary point. So I got to do it while I'm in LA. Whew, I got a lot of thinking to do. So let me get to a couple of questions that I wanted to answer. Brent, I love you, brother. Sex comedies are dead. We need sex comedies. Let's fucking do it. I love rom-coms. I love rom-coms a lot. Justin, you ever actually do a comedy? Sorry. You ever actually do a comedy-based? Focus. You ever actually do a comedy-based open mic before? Yes, I have. I have been on stage more than a few times. And I was successful. But again, how do you measure success? The Dabbleverse people will say you bombed. Some other people will not. But I wasn't consistent with it. But I have done it on a couple of occasions. And I was kind of like Andy Kaufman. Oh, yeah, you're saying woke is dead. I hope it is. Good to see you, Colin Madden. But I was doing my humor kind of like Andy Kaufman in his comedy career. So I went on the Laugh Factory. I've done the Laugh Factory 2 times. I did the Comedy Store 2 times. But I had to stand in line to do the open mic. And I stood in line for like 3 hours to try to get a spot. Then I had to disappear for 3 or 4 hours and then come back and be one of the first open mic people. But we had a lady, our Pauly Shore mother was running the Comedy Store at this time. Then there was another guy, I forgot his name, but he was running the Laugh Factory. I think he was Armenian. He was a manager of actors and stuff like that as well. But so I went on stage and I wrote out an entire set of comedy, talking about McDonald's, the menu on McDonald's, and stuff like that. And I performed it at both places, the Comedy Store and the Laugh Factory. And I got laughs, but there was like 8 people to 10 people there. And I was nervous. It was my first time. And I'm not really a writer. And I didn't really understand how to perform comedy. I still don't to this day. But I did it. And I talked about like McDonald's and eating the food and being fat and stuff like that. And again, it went well. I had a few laughs. But if you're listening and watching and waiting for laughs, then you're not in the performance. That's an actor technique. The best performances are like when you don't even remember what the fuck happened. You're like, huh? Did I hit my mark? Did I hit my cue? Did I say that joke correctly? Those are the best performances. But that was my first set, right, that I did at the Laugh Factory and the Comedy Store. Then I thought about it and I was like, man, somebody gave me a note that I need to get more comfortable on stage. It's the same thing in auditions. You got to get comfortable. 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 You got to know who you are on stage before you can tell fucking jokes and be a part of the crowd. You got to feel comfortable in the silence, and you got to be comfortable on stage, being looked upon to tell jokes. So I was like, how do I do this? How do I get comfortable on stage? Well, I got to get on stage more. So I came back and I started watching Andy Kaufman, and he would do characters out of nowhere, and he never had a set performance or a set act. And I didn't know that people told me, oh, do crowd work. Crowd work is fucking lazy. Crowd work means you don't know how to write shit, that you're just insulting or making fun of people's locations. It's dabble versus fucking comedy. Crowd work. You please the audience by talking shit about people, making fun of them or their situation. That is lowbrow humor to me, and I don't like it. But there are some crowd work people that do it fantastically. I haven't watched enough comedy to truly know. But still, crowd work is lazy comedy to me. But I wanted to learn how it was to be on stage. So I wanted to mimic Andy Kaufman. So I started creating characters to maybe go on stage and be a different person every time. Please welcome to the stage, MichaelRayBower. Please welcome to the stage. I was always going to use my name because that's how you get fame. But then I was going to be a gay person with telling jokes. One time I was going to be an insecure person. I was going to be a tough Andrew Dice Clay type person. I was trying to figure out personalities. But I first had to learn how to be on stage and get comfortable. So what I did is, I think the best comedians use their own life and the humor from their tragic or their struggles or their trauma. I think the best comedians use themselves as an example, not other people. They don't base their humor and insults off of other people. They have to base it off of themselves. And that's the way they deal with their trauma, their tragedy, and stuff like that. So I always knew I was a fat person with a lisp, with a this, with a that, all my insecurities and bullshit. So I need to play off that. And the world loves making fun of fat people. And so I decided to, for my second time at the Laugh Factory and at the Comedy Store in front of Mitzi, I decided to get comfortable on stage. So they introduced me, and this is basically before everybody was filming everything. So I don't have any footage of it. I apologize. And there's a thing in the Dabbleverse talking about should they be able to record comedy shows or stuff like that. I think there's some sort of a question in the Dabbleverse now about that, where certain people think they should be able to record comedy sets, and some people say, no, it's my content. I haven't really thought about it too much, to be quite example. But if I'm trying to become famous in comedy, if you guys want to film my fucking set and air it, and if you got 20, 30,000 people and you want to make fun of me, well, guess what? I just got exposed to 30,000 people, and maybe 1,000 of them thought I was actually funny. And maybe they'll come to see my comedy in the future as I get better and I learn more. So I don't know. I don't really think about it that I have a problem with it. If it is a paid event and I want to privatize it, and I'm filming it for myself professionally, yeah, I'm not going to let people in to record it or do whatever they do. But they might try to sneak in and do it. But yeah. But if I'm just doing a normal night, even if I'm filming it myself, I don't know. I think people should be allowed to film it comedy. Because if it goes viral, either good or bad, you're becoming famous. And that's what we all want to do, is make a couple of bucks. And that would bring comedy back as well. People wouldn't be afraid to have their videos out there of their comedy. I don't know. Interesting subject. Okay, so back to my story. Forgive me, I talk a lot. And I get sidetracked. So I was going to do my second performance. So I did it, the same performance at the Laugh Factory and the Comedy Store, probably in subsequent days. So I get on stage, and you get about 3 minutes as an open mic. They introduce me. They say, oh, you've seen him in shows like this and that, and movies like Dude, Where's My Car, and whatever the case is. Please welcome MichaelRayBower. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So then I got on stage, and I asked for a chair to be on stage. And then I immediately grabbed the mic, looked at the audience, like I was going to say something. Then I moved the chair a little closer, touched the mic again. I went. Then the audience is like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? Then I sit down for a couple of seconds, pretend like I'm waiting. Then I get back up. Now we're probably 30 seconds in. Then I stand up in front of the mic. I pulled out a Snickers bar. This is called prop humor, but this is letting the audience drive you and your character and your story. Putting whatever's comedy in their heads. So they're watching me now. Is he going to say anything? Should we boo him? What the fuck's going on? We came here for comedy. And he's just sitting in a chair going, and now he pulled out a fucking Snickers bar. You get it? They're like, what the hell's going on? They don't know how to feel. So then I just unwrap the Snickers bar and I take a bite. Then I start going, you want to say something? And I go, I just keep eating this Snickers bar. Right? Then I sit down for a little bit, brush my shoulders. Now there's a little bit of like silence. There's not a lot of people in there. So there's not like boos or F you or this or that. They were not motivated back in those days as much as they are nowadays to talk all that bullshit. People are like, should I say something? What's going on? Whatever. Then I'm seeing a little flashing light because they got a light that tells you your set is over, like a red light. I'm seeing a flashing light, and I'm like, then I just start eating the candy bar even more. I burp, whatever. I get back to the mic. Now we're 2 minutes in, 2.5 minutes in. I'm at the end of the Snickers bar. Then I eat the end of the Snickers. Then the light turns on, and I make notice to it. Like I look at the light, it turns red now officially, like it's on red for like 10 seconds. Then I look at the crowd and I go, next week, king-size Snickers. Got laughs. Got fucking laughs. You get it? I had a regular size Snickers bar, the small one. For 3 minutes, a fat guy did no comedy, just stood there and eat. Some of them were laughing while I was eating, at the process of eating. Then I ended it with, next week, king-size Snickers. Meaning it's going to be an even bigger candy bar that I'm just going to sit there and do nothing and eat. It worked. It worked. The guy from the Laugh Factory, he looked me up or knew who I was a little bit after that performance because he saw me like a week or so earlier. And he's like, hey, you know, are you interested in a manager or this or that? I manage a couple of actors. And I was like, yeah, you know, let me know. And he's like, you think you can come back next week? He goes, but you got to have an act. You got to have an act. You got to do something. And I was like, I'm just trying to learn who I am on stage right now. I'm kind of doing physical type of humor or emotional type of humor. He's like, oh, well, let's work on that. I also run a class or something for comedians if you want to be a part of it. I was like, oh, you're selling me on shit. Then Mitzi, after the same performance, told me, hey, you got something, kid. Come back tomorrow. But don't bring a candy store. So that was my memory of Mitzi Shore of the comedy. What's it called? The Comedy Store. So that was it. But I didn't go back. I think I started acting or this or that or something took me away from it. But I did have many moments where I hung out with a comedian named Ralphie May and Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias, and they were auditioning against me and stuff for other movies. And they even asked me, they're like, Mike, you keep getting the jobs and we don't. And I'm like, there's a difference between comedy and acting. And I know the acting world. I've studied it. And you guys know the comedy world. You've studied it. So now in my life, past 50 years of age, I hope I can study comedy officially. And I can try to do something moving forward. Because I need to. I've always wanted to do it. I've just been always afraid to do it. So let's hope I'm on the up and up. All right. Did you guys enjoy the Dude, Where's My Car story? And let me get this off screen. Boy, show's been an hour and a half long, and I'm only into my first topic. So we can brush through the next things kind of quickly. And again, thank you guys for the super chats and the love and the support. Please hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button if you're having a good time. And I really look forward to seeing some of the comments more so at the end of the show. And again, I apologize if I don't get to every comment while I'm doing whatever it is I do. See, this is an actual show. But in the future, I'm going to have audience-only shows where I'm going to pay more attention to the audience, and I'm going to have more audience-interacted shows in the future. So please forgive me. So this is something that was interesting, y'all. Apparently, Brent, I love you, brother. What's up, Don's Maggio? Variable volume music. Thank you guys for the love. And did I get... Oh, yeah. Dennis Michael sent me $2. Stuttering John was in Dude, Where's My Car? Yeah, I've learned that from the Dabbleverse people. I don't remember his character for some damn reason. I got to watch it again. I don't remember meeting him at the rap party or anything, per my recollection. But yeah, apparently Stuttering John was in Dude, Where's My Car? And again, thank you, everybody, for the donations and the love and the support. Jamie and everybody. Truly appreciate you guys. I really mean it. My J is on fire. Hey, hey. It's a good music right there. Ray of Light, I know you were online earlier. Monkeypox. Coach Muttering John, Melton is a hunchback. We got the Dabbleverse coming after him. Bauer got too much skills. Jamie, I'm fine with listening to you. Oh, you're a doll. You're a freaking doll. Colin Madden, everything films, everything. You can't put toothpaste back in the tube. Oh, yeah. Kiana was one that mentioned she doesn't like being recorded doing comedy. Yeah. We don't have to have the same opinion to still be friends. I think her and her husband, Gino, that was the video that I think I saw. Sorry, my psoriasis acts up so much. I'm going through something right now, health-wise. Yeah, everybody's got their own opinion. You know what? But it's like every certain day. Some days, like, I don't want to deal with anything. And I block everybody, and I'm having a real bad time at laughing at myself or this or that or whatever the humor it is, and I just block everybody and I fucking run away. Then there's other times where I try to face my shit, like on the Acting Crazy Confident podcast, where I just try to push through, because we're all evolving. Keanu is evolving. We're all evolving. And yeah, if we don't have the same opinion, that's fine. But the more I think about it, like, if somebody's filming my comedy, I know they're using it to make a little bit of money or to have content, and they're probably going to make fun of me. But at the end of the day, I'm opening up an audience to a few more people that might actually like me officially moving forward. And yeah, I already said this already. If I'm filming a comedy set for myself and I'm testing material for an actual special of my own personal accord, I don't want it filmed. But comedy's ever evolving, and we always got to write. So we'll leave it at that. Wish I could give more, brother. God bless. No, dude, you're giving me your attention. That is very valuable. That is very valuable, and I appreciate it, each and every one of you. I only got 4 hours left on my StreamYard. You only get 20 hours a month on StreamYard, and I had 4 hours left, and I was hoping to do a show tomorrow. And then it resets on the 8th or the 9th. But, like, I'm going to have to end the show in about 45 minutes to at least have an hour and a half to do tomorrow. I can't afford to pay $45 a month, $600 a year. Can't afford it. Can't afford it. But let's just quickly get to it. There it is. There's a good statement. All out of bubble gum. I love that quote from that movie. I'm all out of bubble gum. Or something about this and that and bubble gum, but I'm all out of bubble gum. I'm here to murder people but I'm all out of bubble gum. Bashing on other people gets old and lazy. That's what it is. It's what it is. It's what it is. It's just lazy. So they need other people's content to critique constantly. There are some talented people in the Dabbleverse. They just don't know how to achieve it. And I'm telling them, don't give up, but stop critiquing and personal insults. That's not going to bring you anywhere in life. You're just going to make enemies. They're struggling to get people to their fucking hackamania. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Because they make enemies. My friend Carlos wrote this. He's an actor as well. Look him up online. Carlos Pratch. Apparently, Netflix is buying Warner Brothers in an $82.7 billion deal. Wow. Which will bring HBO Max, and the massive franchise like Game of Thrones and the DC Universe to the platform. Yeah, this has been going on for a while, but Netflix, the biggest streaming service in the world, has now officially declared themselves as number one. They are now the Kevin Brennans of this fucking world, and they are number one, and they need to say it loudly. Disney is also monopolizing everything as well. But Netflix, right at the time of the Stranger Things coming out, when all eyes are upon them, the merger was announced. Netflix is buying Warner Brothers, one of the studios that started the entire industry. That's how bad it has fallen off for the major studios. Too bad that Warner Brothers don't have any of that Avatar money. That's Paramount. So the DC Universe and Warner Brothers and subsequently streaming franchises are now owned by fucking Netflix. Remember when this happened with the fast food franchises and the Microsoft and the Google, where the government had to come in and break them apart? Is that what we're heading to in Hollywood? Is Hollywood going to officially be 3 fucking companies moving forward? This is something to think about. And monkeypox. He said, for your StreamYard account. Well, I appreciate the $50, but if you, and trust me, it ain't going to go to my StreamYard because I get it for free. But I appreciate the thought because that would only last 1 month. And I'll be quite honest with you, that entire amount of money that you just gave me minus YouTube's deduction of like 30% or whatever it is, that will pay for my grocery delivery service to bring me my groceries to live. That's better than having StreamYard for 1 fucking month, which I already get 20 hours of it. You gotta take your money and juggle it 6 or 7 times. You gotta take your money and juggle it. Not having a good time. I have been juggling bills the last 2 months, and I've had to take out payment plans for some of the big bills, the electricity bill that I just recently got. And I'm trying to figure out a way to get a cheaper internet bill because it's like $102 every month for like 500 megabytes per second. And the only other options are for the $59.99 plan is a 200 megabyte per second service. Then I can get an additional $100 or 100 megabytes per second for $10 more. So it goes from 60 to 70. Plus you add the penalties or the taxes or the equipment fees, the Wi-Fi fee, that $60 goes back up to $90. And I'm paying $101 altogether for 500 megabytes a second, which is working. And I'm afraid to go down to a lower tier to try to save $20 because my internet might be even worse. They got you by the balls. But monkeypox, is that from that movie? That's a good movie. With the monkey. I forgot the name of it with Bruce Willis. That was a good movie. From my StreamYard account. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being my friend. I appreciate it, monkeypox. But hey, guys, I'm honest with you guys with everything in my world, and I appreciate you truly. All right, where was I? So Netflix buys Warner Brothers. We are now entering a world where theaters are disappearing. There's probably going to be only 1 or 2 theater chains in existence. They got to figure out a way to make a movie an event. But they're adding chairs and restaurants and alcohol and massage chairs to try to make it a better experience. But eventually, they're going to have to turn it into like 3 theaters in general. The megaplexes are done. They're done, in my opinion. You got to make it an event like a movie premiere. You have to add question and answers with actors to the theaters. They got to make it like a convention for certain movies and stuff like that. But now Netflix is buying Warner Brothers. Who would have fucking thought? Netflix, I remember you bought all the episodes of Friends for like $150 million a couple of years ago to air all the Friends episodes. You should have waited. You could have added Friends because you're now buying Warner Brothers, and that's who made Friends and distributed Friends. What does this mean for the DC universe? Well, we just had the rebuild of the DC universe with Superman, and I think some of the movies that were planned are now being canceled until all of this is figured out officially with James Gunn and Netflix. Maybe it was on pause, but I heard or I watched something that some of the DC Universe movies were canceled in the meantime, whether it be due to actors or storylines or this merger. How do you guys feel about this merger? I'm fucking ashamed. I'm absolutely ashamed of this merger. Why? Because I like knowing that Warner Brothers is Warner Brothers. I like knowing that Universal was Universal. Now it's NBC Universal. Now I'm sure it's something different. There's only 5 studios that legitimately started in the 20s that are still here. It probably is 3. It's not 5. But the big ones are. Let's go through it off my head. It was Warner Brothers. It was Paramount. It was Universal Studios. It was Fox Studios. Am I missing one? Am I missing one? Oh, Disney. Sorry, Disney. Disney. I'm missing Disney. Now, Disney owns everything underneath them. They basically own Fox. So that's 2 into 1. Now, Netflix is owning Warner Brothers. That's 2 into 1. They're still going to call it Warner Brothers, etc., so on and so forth. So publicly, it's not changing. But still, it's 2 studios in 1. Paramount, I thought they were bought by somebody. Universal was bought by somebody. So now the 5 had technically become 3. And they're not doing anything to bring comedy movies back or anything like that. They're just liquidating their assets and they're buying companies to control the content. And this is where I'm afraid because they're controlling the content. And everything is streaming now. That's why I download everything. And people get mad at me for having illegal content or this or that, allegedly. But I now know the purpose of physical media. When streaming and downloading of movies, I was loving every minute of it, just like Napster. I got a ton of backups of movies and TV shows on hard drives. But now the hard drives are no longer the big ones with the spinning wheels. They're now like little things, thumbnails, where you can lose it. They're solid state drives. And then they give you a laptop or a computer without a hard drive. It just has a little 1 gigabyte hard drive for all the information, and all the things are being made with small hard drives so you can stream, and then it erases after you live stream it or whatever the case is. And nothing is being owned or kept. That's why the physical media people, I'm fucking in love with you all. I get why you're doing it. And the people that want to download all of this shit, do it. Do it now. Do it good. Download that shit like you should right now. Right now. Do the downloads illegally right now. Allegedly. And I'm not promoting it. Because they, in recent years, have started to change the content of the movies or the episodes or edited out specific things due to cancel culture and shit like that. And I am fucking afraid. I am from this industry, from this genre, and we've lost almost everything to now, and it's almost all gone, and now we're losing this. They are creating the ministry of film, just like the ministry of truth. And they're going to erase shit, and we will no longer know if it even existed. And this goes back to that Mandela effect question that we had earlier in the show that we didn't talk about. Wow. We're losing everything, and I'm very, very afraid. I have a DVD and VCR tapes of all my favorite movies. Everybody needs to do that. And my boy right here, for a long time, Brendan, I didn't understand collecting movies, man. I thought you spend so much fucking money. Well, you do spend money on bullshit, Brendan. You do spend money on bullshit. But collecting physical media, I understand why you do it now. I understand why you do it. Because Lord knows it's changing. But Brendan is now into AI, and he's making little AI movies in a narcissistic way. Brendan told me, download Sora. Start making little videos with AI. Well, let me be honest with you. First off, I can't see the technology on my phone very well. But I don't even want to watch myself in an action movie or something like that. I want to do it in real life. So I don't want to make AI to see myself. I don't think I'm that much of a narcissist. I'm not saying you are, Brendan. But for you, it's a little bit different because those are your dreams that you've had your entire life coming through AI. You know, and being characters of your favorite Asian movies or action movies. And now you're promoting your blockbuster AI retro videos. It's perfect for you. I don't know for me. I don't know if I should do it for me. You know, like recreate myself in movies or stuff like that. I mean, it would be cool to look at, but I don't want people to think that like I'm in love with myself. If that makes any sense. If that makes any fucking sense. Yeah, I guess Sora is free. That's amazing. I will look into it when I got the time, Brendan. And I love what you're doing, brother. I'm not talking shit. I have my own thoughts about it because, like, I'd rather go back to Hollywood to try to be in the movies than create something on Sora, you know? I'm just a different person, but I love everything you're doing. TNT, Monster Vision, all the 35 millimeter scans online have been a true blessing. Yes, there's a few people that like Brendan that are creating and Brent Mania with WWF and WWE that are keeping everything alive. Keeping everything alive. I fucking so love these people. I fucking love them. Y'all are my world. All of the 35 millimeter scans online have been a true blessing. I scanned Pacific Laserdisc to preserve them digitally to maintain specific features only brought to the Laserdisc release. Well, TNT Monster Vision, thank you. Thank you. Fat boy, thank you for the compliments. But again, I don't really want to be in the Dabbleverse, but I know I am. I have my days. I appreciate you. Larry Jester, what's up? I haven't said hello to you today. To live my superhero fantasy or what? I just make stupid comics of myself like Doug Funny from Doug. Dude, I don't have a problem with anybody doing it. Again, I'm just at a weird place where I'm trying to get back to acting. And like, if I start to fall in love with it, it won't help me to get out of my house and to start auditioning again. You get it? If I can just create myself in all these characters or these movies to fulfill my fantasy, it won't help me to actually do it in real life. But it'll be fun. It's fucking fun. I'm just at a different place. But again, Wet Movie, I love you all. I appreciate what everybody's doing out there. But yeah, dude, $82 billion deal. Netflix had $82 billion liquid to get rid of their company. And now everything's going to be streaming. And we're getting the Ministry of Truth from these 3 or 4 corporations that are running the world now. And to end it, I'm scared shitless. I'm scared shitless. And we just talked about it. All right. Let me just quickly talk about this now, because we wanted to get into different stories. But I recently saw a video. Let me see if I can get it on screen. Of Kelly Osbourne. And I know a lot of people are on Ozempic. and those LLPs or whatever they're called, DLPs, what LLP, I don't know, the LLCs, I don't know. And I saw something with, let me change the banner. I saw something with Kelly Osbourne. Then I saw the algorithm now showed me stuff with Amy Schumer. And she said she just worked out her entire life. And that's how she's looking so well nowadays. That's some bullshit. Ozempic and these drugs have taken over Hollywood 100%. It started with one of the actors from the show Mike and Molly that I used to watch. He was a bigger actor. He lost a lot of weight. Let me see if I can get it on screen. And show you some pictures of the people that do it, like Chelsea Handler and other people like that. And again, however you want to get skinny, do you. Do you. But the health benefits from this are not good. Even though you look healthy, this shit is tearing your liver, your body, and it's killing people slowly. It's killing people slowly. So let's try to see if we can get a couple of pictures of these actors that are believed or alleged to be doing it. Kourtney Kardashian, Elon Musk, there's Kelly Osbourne. But the video I saw of her, she looked really sickly. Chelsea Handler, I don't know what happened there. Katy Perry apparently does it. Sorry, something happened. Jelly Roll. Who else are they saying? That girl, she was fatter when she was funny. Probably people like Melissa McCarthy might doing it. Allegedly, again, I don't know what's really going on with everybody. I definitely know he's doing it. You see how sickly he looks? The guy from the Kardashians. John Goodman, I know he uses it for a fact. Well, not for a fact, but just this shit is taking over Hollywood. This shit is taking over Hollywood. And Brendan, I hope you never do this stuff, brother. I hope you never do this stuff, dude. And there's some other people that are doing it. And it is the price for fame and to look skinny because we're judged by so many people. This is what they're willing to do themselves. It was a diabetic drug, but now it's used for weight loss. But it's killing their kidneys and their livers and their body functions. And they're just literally, we don't know what's really going to happen to these people that have done long-term use. Because this is kind of became real popular over the last, let's call it 3 years, 2 years. Now it's like really mainstream. And there's 20 different companies for the product. Mounjaro, this, that. And they're all making money hand over fist off of all this freaking stuff. And it's really, really scary. And it is literally killing actors. And it will be very, very soon. And I don't know how to feel about this. I think our unions like Screen Actors Guild and other stuff like that need to be fighting against this. Because if they want these people to live longer and pay their dues, they need to do this shit. Again, the problem is now this is being promoted by commercials, advertisement, and everything across the world. And then they're using filters in movies and TV shows, just like the girl from Friends on her show, The Morning Show. They're using filters to look prettier. They're using Ozempic to look skinnier and healthier. And they're adding all of it to their TV and movies and their performances. So now The false sense of reality is happening worldwide. And now the teenagers and the young women and men that are fantasizing over these people and want to be just like them, they're going to be the new Ozempic Mounjaro buyers of the future. And they basically started a life of filters, makeups, and they're destroying themselves. And it's fucking sad. Because I know some actors that are personally using it. And I even know some not so famous actors that are using it. The problem with the Hollywood community is they're not comfortable in their own skin. Due to Twitter, this, that, Dabbleverse, people that make fun of you, personal insults, they're not comfortable in their own skin. And they always want to be somebody different. And that's what I've been fighting against in my podcast and through my personal journey. And I'm afraid of all of this stuff. And just recently, my fucking doctors told me, because I am technically pre-diabetic, diabetic at times, that I should think about using this stuff for my career and for my health. An actual doctor that has his life in your hands recommended this shit. And then people wonder why I don't go to the doctor more, why I don't trust these fucking evil creatures with pharmaceuticals. It's fucking insane. And just like with the allegedly the vaccines, the jab, some people are going to start dying in a few years off of this stuff, or they're going to have major complications the rest of their life, and they're going to be in wheelchairs where they sold their soul to look skinny publicly. We've got a scary future ahead of us for the entertainment world. We've been talking about movie theaters, studios, actors, comedy movies. It feels like everything is dead in terms of Hollywood. And now they're killing their actors to literally be in Hollywood. But we're at the Great Reset. I just wanted to explain my thoughts on that. Let me check out some of you guys' comments. Can you get a new doctor? I live off government insurance. So every doctor is going to be Indian and or far away and not on my insurance plan. But yes, you can always get a new doctor. But then I'm going to have to see his recommended specialist for every little thing that ails me, and it becomes a process entirely again. We don't need to get into all that other stuff. Doctors always talk about your weight. I hit my head once and I got checked out. The doctor said he was concerned about my weight. Again, everybody's concerned about your physical appearance, even when you come in for something internal. Well, you know, I'm a doctor. We have the pyramid. We have the motherfucking food pyramid. We have the motherfucking food pyramid. Did you guys hear that they changed the food pyramid probably like 10 years ago, 15 years ago? Then it became the plate, the hot plate. pyramid. Again, it used to be the food pyramid. You need to eat a certain amount of vegetables and this and that and get your breads and your this and your that, right? Then they realize, hey, that's not good. That's not good. So now we made the plate method. This is how much food needs to be on your plate of what things. And now there's a new one coming out. Forgive me, I just watched a video, so my info is not perfectly correct at this moment. But yeah, the FDA, those motherfuckers, think they know what's best for us. And they approved red dye number 20. They approved this. They approved Manjaro. Fuck. Sometimes I wish this entire world was destroyed. And is that bad for me to say? But I feel so bad for the young people that are being born after the 2000s. They don't know any of the good shit. This is their world. But again, we are in a war. We are going through a great reset. We are shaping the world again little by little. And it's getting really interesting. All right. Let's try to quickly go through some of this. But for my listeners that are in my fantasy football league, let me get this off screen. There it is. The playoffs are set. The top 6 teams in my fantasy football league are making the playoffs. But number 6 is still available for a couple of teams. Maybe you guys can see it on screen. But I am DonkeyLips. I am at 3rd. I am trying to get the 2nd or 1st spot to get a bye week. But this is my Mikey's World, my YouTube channel, Fantasy Football League. We're in the final week of the season. Some of you guys are in it, and we're having a good time. And I made the playoffs. And I'm hoping to get the bye week in the first week of the playoffs. But I wanted to just say I appreciate everybody for buying in to be in the league. I think it was like $20, $25. And to try to get prizes from my merchandise store and stuff like that. Or my time and attention. I appreciate that. I also will be doing a podcast on December 9th, 10th, and or 11th. But with some other people that paid for me to do it. Hopefully I can share that podcast. I don't know if it's live or this or that, but I can share it at a later date with everybody. Now, we talked about Ozempic. Now, let's just talk a little bit about Spiracy'S, because I'm going to do a Happy Alien podcast video, hopefully next Tuesday or Wednesday. And I want you guys to be involved in it. So please do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, the like, the subscribe button. Consider donating and supporting through my merchandise store and everything that's available down below. Code Black Friday for 20% off for the next 7 or 8 orders. Capital B, capital F, Black Friday 25. And now I was trying to pick some ideas to talk about conspiracy-wise for the next Happy Alien podcast. And then I was watching a performance on Thanksgiving, and they had a sign language person there doing the sign language. And at the part or the end of the song, the national anthem, the person threw up this sign. When they were singing, and the home of the brave, they were saying, the land of the free, and the home of the brave. And to me, that's an Illuminati sign. It's a MAGA sign to some people. It's a white nationalist sign to some people. They're hijacking it, the sign language or whatever. But I was like, why the hell did the sign language person put that exact symbol when they were saying, like, land of the free? Because that, to me, would never be the symbol of free. How it's possibly been hijacked. So I looked it up online. Now, let me see if I can get it on screen. When I wrote, what is sign language for free? I don't know. Did I mess something up? I probably did. I wrote sign language free. And this is what came up. And it could be the letter E, the the letter F. Sorry, guys. I was trying to look up a bunch of different things. It's just so weird that on a live broadcast, then I started watching sign language performances of everybody else at those specific words. And the land of the free, and they did that symbol all the time to close out the word free. Maybe because it's an E, as you guys can see, but still, it just freaked me out that would be the last sign language letter for free. But again, let's look at the F. Do they have it here? No. They got the R. They got the E that looks like the Illuminati symbol. And then American. Again, I have no problems with the letters. I guarantee you if you do a deeper research into the word free, for some reason it looks like that Illuminati photograph that I just had. Again, I'm not trying to laugh at it, make fun of it. I just said it was interesting when I saw it, and it kind of scared me when I heard the word the land of the free at that same moment that I saw the sign language person do that symbol or that ending symbol. Because in a conspiracy world, if we have been corrupted with our education system, sign language system would be a part of that. And if the symbolism of Illuminati, this and that, the one-eyed, it's just amazing to have it in the actual sign language and it be shown on screen at the word land of the free. I don't know. It did something to me mentally when I saw it. Okay. Whoops. How do I show it? Okay, show. There we go. I just thought it was really, really interesting. Sorry, my screen is all messed up right now. How do I get it off of that? There we go. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself, then make that change. Come on, jump on. Na 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 na. Oh Lord, I love you, Brent. You're fucking awesome. My son is taking sign language. I just looked up the word free, and it's that. So you did it again. Just interesting to me, a ray of light. Just interesting me when I saw it. I was watching the broadcast, and they're like, "Hand of the free." And I was, what the fuck? I looked for symbolism. That was scary, dude. Looks kind of like a bird and an eagle. Yeah, you know what? That is a very good explanation of it. I can agree with that. But I'm just saying the word or the symbolism is co-opted by many factions, and it's very, very interesting. All right, let me get that off of the screen. Now, guys, real quickly, I'm just going to brush through some topics that I'm going to hopefully do on the Happy Alien podcast. And you guys, maybe you can vote for something on screen, but I'm trying to make a list and check it twice. I'm going to find out who's fucking naughty or nice. I'm going to do that shit. But these are topics that interest me. I was watching a podcast or two a couple of days ago, and I was like, man, these topics are interesting to talk about. So maybe you can write down on a notepad on your phone to where maybe you can talk about it or have a segment or two or three for a show. But yes, this was talked about on other shows and stuff like that. So I'm recycling material. So I'm plagiarizing apparently. But no. So there was a video and they were talking about a conspiracy theory or something like that with Spirit Halloween animatronics. kind of like that movie Five Nights at Freddy's that's about to come out, part 2. Still haven't watched the first one. But they were talking about Spirit Halloween animatronics. I thought that was an interesting topic to talk about. Also, this is one that I've been clinging to that I want to talk about in a little more detail and do a little bit more research on it. But 3D printed meat, like that's scaring the fuck out of me. And it is now becoming in the grocery stores and everywhere. 3D fucking printed meat. So I was thinking about talking about that. Then something happened with a Mandela effect about blood is blue. But no, it's actually always been red. There was a little Mandela effect that came out. Then data collection. There's apparently data collection in everything nowadays, and they sell your data, but now they're doing it in toys for the little kids, and they're placing cameras in toys for little kids. And kids are not aware. Parents are not aware. Also, I saw a video talking about Mall World. Have you guys ever heard of Mall World? Well, when I saw this video, they were talking about how a lot of people dream of Mall World. And then when it immediately came up, I said, oh my God, I have dreamt of Mall World numerous times. I remembered every aspect of it. And it's kind of like the back rooms, where that hit me like a liminal space, like the back rooms. That theory or whatever's going on with that hit me like a ton of bricks. And just recently, the GATE program was starting to be talked about. And that hit me like a ton of bricks because I was involved in it. Maybe that's why I'm an actor. I was hijacked. I was brainwashed, etc., so on and so forth. I went to these classes. But that hit me like a ton of bricks. Then this mall world theory that a lot of people are having dreams about, where everything is living in a mall and there's all these different mountains in this, but in a mall. It's kind of like living under a dome. But I've had these dreams. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. This mall world theory. So I need to look into that a little bit when I get some time. And that will lead us into whether dreams are like why we fly in dreams, or I've done videos before and my vlogs about what's the meaning of my dreams. And I've been having a lot of dreams lately, and remembering a lot of them. A lot of them are scary and spiteful and demonic and scary. But I think that's because I'm facing my fears. But hey, let me know what topic you would be favorable. Maybe all of them on the show, but Spirit Halloween animatronics and some theories with that, 3D printed meat, Mandela effects, blood is blue, data collection with toys, or the mall world theory. Let me know which piques your palate from those. Oh, yes. Zeke the Goon. Yes. Shane Dawson is one of the podcasts that was doing some of these videos. I am a fan of the Shane Dawson. I'm a fan of his brother, really, too. His brother's really into conspiracy theories. But yes, that was one of the podcasts that I watched that kind of inspired me to talk about it. You know, I should probably watch the podcast and do it all live, but yes, Zeke the Goon, me and you, we on the same page. It doesn't matter how we get inspired to make a podcast or do a video, as long as we get inspired. But yes, I dream in the mall. I dream in the mall all the time. I agree with that. I agree with that. May the conspiracies be forever in your favor. Yes. Yes. Dude, Shane Dawson is doing some cool stuff, man. in a pop culture type manner with conspiracies. It's kind of fun, kind of interesting. He's doing a great job. Quite a few apparently have a people about the specific mall. Yeah, I got to look into that theory a little bit more online. I'm not on TikTok or any of that other stuff. I'm really not into all that other stuff. Fluffy's in the house? Oh, there he is. Just discovered the phrase smooth move, X-Lax. Got a popular line from Salute Your Shorts. I swore it came from a movie. What's up, Fluffy? Good to see you. And we're not going to do it in today's show because I got to get going. But I just watched this video earlier today. And it talks about how the elite or the mainstream people have realized there's nothing beyond that can be changed moving forward into the world past 2012. I'll just put on a couple of minutes of it. Hopefully I don't get dinged. But maybe we'll talk about this on the Happy Alien podcast next Tuesday or Wednesday. But this really was interesting to me. Hopefully you guys can hear it.
Problem when we approach 2012, December 21st, 2012.
When you approached me, disclosures that you have, and it's a place here, but we are forced to be in this kind of a public place for a number of reasons that I can't explain on camera. But take it from me, this
Extra caution. Minutes later, something strange happened.
I just want to make sure that we cover this sort of preliminary until we go to the low level of what went on. And we are still having helicopters in the vicinity in the background. What do you think?
This is not going away.
Once you hear what he's about to say, the timing of those helicopters won't feel random anymore.
We have had to move from our location where we were to a more private situation in order to take this testimony because we have been overflown by repeated number of helicopters that simply did not want to go away.
They were there long before the interview.
Let me be straight with you. While working on this video, some of the things I found really shook my sense of reality a bit. It might do the same for you, but I'd honestly recommend watching until the end because it gets very, very interesting. Before we continue, there's something important you should hear, especially with the year ending. 2025 is almost over, and we're falling into the same trap again, waiting for January 1st to start something new or learn a new skill. But here's the truth. You don't need a new year to make a new start. AI was one of the most in-demand skills of 2020.
All right, they're selling. All right, let me just get you the theory that they're talking about.
Once you get your brain wrapped around the Stargate projects.
So he's talking about Looking Glass, and this is really interesting.
Tested how different decisions could change what comes next. It wasn't one machine, but an entire process. It would adjust certain conditions, introduce a possible choice, and then watch how the timeline shifted. The goal wasn't to predict the future like a fortune teller. The goal was to see how the future reacts when the present changes, almost like watching reality update itself based on every decision made.
The timelines converge on that point in time. And when you know enough about the Stargate projects and the Looking Glass project to know how string theory works and how the possibility of possibilities works and how making one choice over here doesn't necessarily mean the other choice couldn't exist at the same time. But once you get your brain wrapped around this subject, you find out that at the end of 2012, in an easy way to put it, the choices that we make become less and less consequential to the future. And eventually we're pushed into this bottleneck of time, no matter which choice we make.
What Bill is describing here is the main flaw behind the technology they were using. The idea was this. They would feed different choices into the system. Things like, what happens if we choose X? Or what happens if we choose Y? And the machine would show the most likely future for each choice. At first, it looked extremely convincing. If one option showed a 79% chance of happening and the other showed 21%, they assumed the 79% outcome was basically guaranteed. In other words, they believed the machine could calculate the future like a probability chart, the same way weather forecasts or simulations work. But what they didn't realize was that these probabilities could change very fast once real people, free will, and real-world actions started influencing the situation. Something that looked almost certain at one moment could shift completely.
Long story short, I recommend you guys watch the video. It's on the Be Inspired channel. But like, apparently, he's a Navy intel officer, and he knew about Project Looking Glass and the Stargate program. And the elites and the people that control the world were trying to not predict the future, but to create outcomes based off of decisions that they make, whether they go to war, whether they do this, whether they do that. And then they could shape the future. But the machine that was showing them how they shaped the future, according to the machine that they were using, the Looking Glass machine, the Stargate machine, the computer, whatever it might have been, after 2012, no matter what they did, would never change the outcomes. It was all going to one specific straight line. So again, whatever decisions they were trying to create outcomes, yeah, they were branching out, but they all come back. And then in 2012, something happens to where every outcome will become that decision. And we're going to review what the outcome is that started, according to them, in 2012 on the next Happy Alien podcast. And it's going to be fantastic to watch. And remember, they were talking about the Mayans in 2012. It was the ending of the world. We're now living in a day and age where politicians and everybody's doing whatever the fuck they can, not given any consequences. And maybe it's because the reality, it's already hit a tipping point, whether it be the end of the world or it just will not progress any further. But we're now going through a great reset, the culling or whatever they call it. And maybe they knew many, many years ago, that's why the Great Reset term started around 2012, because they could not bypass the machine and what the future looked like. Very fascinating video to watch, y'all. So let's hope for that on the next Happy Alien podcast. Then, in a pop culture sort of way, I'm not going to show much of this video, but I went to acting school for a couple of years with this woman, Allison Mack. She ended up on Smallville, one of my favorite shows at the time. But she was involved in the NXIVM cult and plot, and she did an interview. She's out of jail, and she did an interview. And let's just watch a couple of minutes of her talking about being in the cult of NXIVM that kind of targeted women and actors of the like. And the only reason I'm interested is because I remember being in acting school with her in a couple of classes and performing with her on stage as well. And I became a fan of Smallville later too. And I'm hoping to be on this podcast, Michael Rosenbaum. You said I was going to be on it a while back, but it's never happened. Come on, Michael. Come on, Michael Rosenbaum. Let's watch a couple of minutes of this with Allison.
Everything was hierarchical. There was always somebody better and always somebody worse. And I needed to figure out where I landed within that hierarchy in order to feel safe. And I was so ambitious because the higher your number on the call sheet, the more validation you got, the more people wanted to see you and wanted you to be around, and the more value.
I hit number 1 on the call sheet. All right. People don't know this about Hollywood, but when you get a call sheet it tells the actors were labeled by numbers. Like number 1 is the star of the movie. Number 2 is like the co-star. And then, the character actors are probably number 7, 17, 14, 13, whatever the numbers they assign to you. So on the call sheet, as an actor, you always wanted to be number 1. You always wanted to be number 1. That meant you were the star of that freaking movie. And I did a Roger Corman movie called Captain Nuke and the Bomber Boys, and I was number 1 on that call sheet because my character's name was Captain Nuke. That's what the movie was about. Even though we had Martin Sheen and some other famous actors, I was number 1 on that call sheet. And Lord knows if my ego wasn't full that day. But she's talking about how you always want to get higher on the call sheet.
Validation you got, the more people wanted to see you and wanted you to be around, and the more valuable you were in my experience. And so there was just like this intense competitive edge, and I mean, that was, really like that longing and that emptiness was what pushed me into what ended up being the cult that I ended up kind of doing crazy life altering things in. But
yeah, let's bypass it.
But yeah, and then it wasn't until so my whole life people were like, oh, you're so lovely, oh, you're so smart, oh, you're so nice to be around, oh, you're so funny, oh, you're so this, oh, you're so that. And so everyone's expectations of me were like fantastic. You know what I mean?
That's
and I was like, great, I will live into that. You tell me who I need to be, whether it's through a script or through your perception of me, and I will absolutely fulfill that. But there was like a hollowness within that because none of it was calibrated to me and what I wanted.
You didn't feel it.
Well, I wasn't there. I was a shell that was presenting as a person to the world, right? That was receiving me.
Yeah.
And then when I got in trouble and my life changed and there were all these horrible things that were being said about me, some totally earned, some really difficult, and I don't necessarily think fair, but some 100% valid and fair. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I don't want to be any of those things. So if I don't want to be any of those things, who am I? And there was this complete decomposition of my identity and this moment of like limbo moment, years of limbo in who am I? And then being in very strange and different, unique environments like prison, like a jail cell, like the back of a paddy wagon, and like a courtroom,
Yeah, thank you, Working Arch Dana. It's good to have you online. And I used your promotion about Dude, Where's My Car, the writer, for my topics of my episode today. Thank you for being a producer, Dana. I appreciate that. And yeah, I love this. I love this stuff, because we're all on a journey. A lot of people don't understand what it's like to be in the Hollywood community, to be brainwashed by the evil or the this or the that, or to end up in a cult, or to this, or like, what is a cult? Again, it could all be disputed, disbanded, and whatever, but we talked about actors on Ozempic. We talked about actors now in cults and doing the recruiting and stuff like that. And it's a personal journey for each and every person. We don't know who we are because we're somebody else all the time. And they're uncomfortable in their own skin, as I mentioned earlier. So Allison, whatever her insecurities are or whatever this or that, she was uplifted by these people from the Nexium cult or whatever, and she did their bidding. And she got lost in translation, if you understand what I'm saying. But she's on a path on her way back. Is there redeeming in her future? I hope so. But she's now taking accountability. But it's just very interesting to watch. And you guys are watching it a lot with me. My personal struggles as I tell you the truth about everything. And Dana, you need to be my producer moving forward. Trust me, you're amazing. You're able to read all the pop culture stuff like that and get me show ideas, and I appreciate that. we'll go through that at another time, another date. And since we talked a little bit about conspiracy theories, again, I don't believe we went to the moon. Whether you agree or not, I don't care. But this video made me laugh. So I want to end today's show with this video about the new astronauts that are going to the moon. And they're so excited. And they're talking about it. They're trying to get publicity. Can you believe we're going to the moon? And all the little lies that they're saying publicly. This shit just made me really, really laugh.
Magic. Victor?
See if I can get it on screen a little bit better.
That'll be a great moment. Magic. Victor? Christina? Jeremy? We're going to the moon. When we get off the planet, we might come right back home. We might spend 3 or 4 days around Earth. We might go to the moon. That's where we want to go, but it is a test mission.
The 45 minutes that we're closest to the lunar surface are also going to be out of contact. We are going to have an LOS in NASA terms, a loss of signal. And while we cannot talk to the planet and our friends that are even in space on the International Space Station, I would love it if the entire world, those 8 billion people Jeremy mentioned, could come together and just, be hoping and praying for us to get that acquisition of signal.
See, you have to be a conspiracy theorist or know without a shadow of doubt all the clues and the lies and the bullshit about the moon landing to understand what these fucking new astronauts are saying. It is stupidity. It is ridiculous nonsense, and it is laughable. But you have to be understanding of all the clues. Some of you might not be there or as well versed as I am, so you might not get the joke. But hopefully I can go into everything that they're saying and show why it's stupid and ridiculous and dumb on the Happy Alien podcast next week. But let's just watch it and let's see if you guys can figure out what they're saying and why it is bullshit and laughable.
That'll be a great moment. Magic. Victor? Christina? Jeremy? We're going to the moon. When we get off the planet, we might come right back home. We might spend 3 or 4 days around Earth. We might go to the moon. That's where we want to go, but it is a test mission.
The 45 minutes that we're closest to the lunar surface are also going to be out of contact. We are going to have an LOS in NASA terms, a loss of signal. And while we cannot talk to the planet and our friends that are even in space on the International Space Station,
Mr. Bean.
I would love it if the entire world, those 8 billion people Jeremy mentioned, could come together and just, be hoping and praying for us to get that acquisition of signal and be back in touch with everybody.
You need to pray for a signal.
We might find nothing, but it's definitely worth looking. And now I'm totally bought in. We're going to be like, I hope we
And
don't
now
make
I'm
something
totally
up.
bought in.
I hope we don't make something up.
When you see numbers like Mach 39 at entry, when you see numbers like 38,000 miles, 250,000 miles, 5.
I hope we don't make something up.
I gotta watch that again. I'm totally bought in.
We might find nothing, but it's definitely worth looking. And now I'm totally bought in. We're going to be like, I hope we don't make something up.
I hope we don't make something up.
When you see numbers like Mach 39 at entry, when you see numbers like 38,000 miles, 250,000 miles, 5-6 million pounds on the pad, those are just insane numbers. Like, those are just not numbers that humans generally think about.
Oh my God! Wow!
We were flying in a sim yesterday and watching the miles click down. What did we say we were doing, like 5 or 7 miles?
7 miles a second.
Coming back to Earth. So these numbers just, you don't even comprehend. This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon.
This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon.
What did you say?
What did you say?
And when I look at the future, when we talk about what is our legacy, I want to look 100 or 200 years in the future. This is where I thought this might land wrong. I hope we're forgotten.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
If we are forgotten, then Artemis has been successful. We have humans on Mars. We have humans out on the moons of Saturn. We are expanding in the solar system. We have... Maybe we've invented something that we never even dreamed of, and maybe we inspired some kid somewhere, and maybe that's our footnote. We inspired Susie or Johnny to do what they did. That would be magical.
Look, maybe we inspired Susie or Johnny. Aren't they in the Fantastic Motherfucking Four? Just saying. I hope we're forgotten. Why? So we can't prove it's fake? Fucking ridiculous. I hope we invent something. Oh, guys, I'm shy.
Maybe we've invented something that we never even dreamed of, and maybe we inspired some kid somewhere, and maybe that's our footnote. We inspired Susie or Johnny to do what they did.
Four.
That would be magical.
That's beautiful.
There are stressful moments and there are fun moments. There's a lot of laughter. And when you laugh in space to the point where you cry tears of joy, they just stick right in your eyeballs. And I always thought that was hilarious.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
They found the best bought-in astronauts to fulfill the lie. And these motherfuckers thinks it's all real. These motherfuckers are so delusional. They are in for a rude awakening. Maybe they don't know the truth now, but they will soon, unless they're all killed in action.
I hope that's what we feel when we splash down on Artemis 2, and that will be a magical, I keep saying magical. That'll be a great moment.
Magic.
Magic. It's magic that we went to space. It's magical. Magic is fake. Magic is lies. It is black magic.
Down on Artemis 2, and that will be a magical, I keep saying magical. That'll be a great moment.
Magic.
We went to the moon. It's magic. It's magical. It's magical. Like special effects and CGI. It's magical. All right, guys. I appreciate hanging out with each and every one of you. I love you. I'm getting going. That being said, thanks for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. I'm actually going through a really bad anxiety patch at the moment. That's why my psoriasis and everything else is acting up. And I am freaking the fuck out internally, which many of you do not even know about anything and everything. And I needed to go live today for my own sanity. Thank you guys for being a part of Mikey's World. I forever appreciate you. And for those that are barely joining, I appreciate you guys. Hopefully I can see you tomorrow. I might have to do it on another StreamYard account, because I think I only got an hour and 10 minutes left on my StreamYard account to live stream tomorrow for my Acting and Crazy Confident podcast at 5 p.m. Pacific. But thanks for being a part. And again, get your thumbs up, your likes. Buy some merchandise if you can for Christmas. And I appreciate you. So to everybody that donated, you're the best around. We got Jay Fire, Brent Mania, Real Squares, Dennis Michaels, Variable Volume Music, Brent Mania, Jamie, beautiful souls that you all are. Dennis Michaels, Variable Music, Monkeypox with the biggest donation of the night, and Brent Mania, like always, hitting that stuff up. And I said I would do an extra half an hour of the show. The show was only meant to go 2 hours. I've done an extra 50 minutes, even because we met the goal. So I appreciate that. And Dana, any more pop culture like articles that are interesting to talk about, I don't mind you sending it to me, being like an executive producer sometimes for some of my shows. I appreciate that. I love you all. Good night. God bless. Have a great weekend. And don't be too hard on yourselves. Give yourself some kindness because you're amazing. See you tomorrow.